In this video, we will be talking about productivity study in school holidays. We will be discussing about holiday planning, especially the setting up goals. Obviously, in the holidays, you've been given some work to do. Then we'll look at the techniques to track your time. That is the first step to be more productive. Then we'll learn about how to set up the priorities around your study goals or study activities. And then we will look at different time management techniques and how to deal with the procrastination with those techniques, especially dealing with the distractions come from mobiles or other layer activities. And, and we will be doing with the boosting breaks. We'll learn more about later on. And towards the last, we will learn how to design a balanced timetable using online calendars. Let's get going. Whenever you do something bigger or important, you have to plan it. If you're doing something small and casual, you don't need a planning. So that's why they say failing to plan is the planning to fail. Means if you don't plan anything, then there's a chances of failure there. Some people say, look, planning never works, but I always encourage them, look, if you plan something and something works, is better than no plan and nothing works. In the school, your learning is planned by the staff and teachers, and where at the home, everything planned by your parents. And now you become an independent learner. You need to plan your homework, study assignments, and project work, especially the exams as well. So in a school holidays, it's a great way to practice this. How can we plan at home? And especially to deal with the time wastage. And let's learn all these things bit by bit. Remember, always make your goals smart. I mean, it has to be specific. You got to be clear, and you can measure those goals in terms of the time and resources, and make sure whatever you set up a goal, it should be attainable. It's not too high, and it should be relevant to your study goals. And always put a deadline to your goals. I'm gonna finish this by that time. Okay. If I put a one example for you, it's like I'm going to finish one chapter or a half a chapter or this topic um, by the 45 minutes, and it will help me to finish my this assignment. So it's like cover a whole thing. But if I just say I'll finish the whole assignment in a half an hour, that's not a smart goal. So always remember, your study productivity is not just on the basis of the time you spent on the certain topic or a certain assignment. It's always proportional to your own energy, like how positive you are, how fresh you are, how much your brain is working, plus the study tool you're using or the techniques you're using. So if somebody can research things quicker because he knows how to search properly than the person who just going through a lot of searches and not getting the right um, learning resources, will be spending more time. So always remember, while you are spending time on your learning, also keep your body and mind energetic, and always keep learning new, better study techniques. The time management start with the tracking your time, because everyone has the same amount of time in a day to work on the what makes a difference, how you spend that time, what energy level you keep it. And it's all start with the awareness of your time, means tracking your time, how much I'm spending time on certain topic, certain activity, especially the break time. We don't realize when we having a break how long we spend it on. In school, you don't need to track your time because it's already been done. At home, you need to track time, especially on, as I said, study and layer. You can use an app. Nowadays, every computer has a The timer also has a stopwatch. Also, there are certain apps which helps you to remind things how much time you're spending on what. So you need a certain tool to remind you how much time you are spending on. That's all. To plan your day, it's important to know what are the essential in a day beside the study. We also need to sleep a bit. I also need to have a time with the family to have a meal. I need breaks as well. It can be going out or having a bit of entertainment. Praise is also essential as well. Personal needs, including having a shower and other things, what are the need? The point is to organize yourself. It takes at least a week to learn how to plan, because if you never track your time before, you don't know how much you spend on what activity, you can't plan it. So the first week of planning will be learning about the technique. Eventually you will become aware of how fast or slow time passes for you and what activity it takes to. So when you're going to write down your timetable, you will have an idea after a week. Unless you already been practicing it, then your estimates will be quite accurate. Let's see how you manage your tasks and time. How do you note down? So some people use their hands, especially the girls do that. And then some people write down all their tasks and they tick them off when they finish. Some advanced one add the time to it. But there are limitations to these ones. Whereas the newer one is having online calendars, will work much better. And we look at what are the benefits of using these. The benefits of using online calendar, first one is a very important one, is to they sync with all your devices. So it doesn't matter what device you're using, a tablet, a computer, or your mobile. They will be, if you change on one location, all will be reflecting the change. And the second one is it has a built-in reminder system. You can set a reminder to remind you if you're having a break, and they suddenly remind you, okay, there's a time to work back on assignment 2, topic 1. So similarly, if you are doing something repetitive, it's very easy to schedule it once and it will reflect all the days or all the weeks, especially the things you do regular on the same time. And the second thing is easy to move around. That's very handy. If by some reason you could not complete one task on certain time, you can move it around to the free area or a free time you have in the other time slot on the same day. Similarly, color coded also help you to identify different different types of activities, like breaks can be color coded here. Blue and your critical thing you can put as a red. It's up to you how do you use it, but it helps you to visualize it better. And the last and very important one is you can convert bigger tasks into smaller. That helps you to deal with the procrastination, because when you think of something big, then more likely try to put it off. But if you see something small, is more likely you're going to do it because you think, I can do it. The harder job you have, it should be split into smaller chunks and deal with and it's true in life as well. If you get something difficult, you do bit by bit. If it's something easy to do, small to do, you just do it in one go. Let's look at benefits of organized day in with the calendar. Now we're going to give you a balanced approach which you can try and tweak, because everybody's different. What works for you might not work for others, but this is something came out of the research or with the different people experience, and you can pick what might work for you and try it and see it can make you more productive. So you always start with your day with the morning routine, which makes a huge difference. That include two things. One is giving your body a bit of a workout, warm up, exercise, something which will open up your muscle and give a bit extra oxygen to the brain. Remember that oxygen always give brain a boost. And breakfast is a fuel, because your brain continuously need energy, keep going, nutrition needed there. And then second thing, which is design major chunks early in the day. So especially if something, because when you're fresh in the morning, you put something important, high priority, to finish in there. Why? Because once you achieve something bigger, important, then what will happen is it gives you positive mood. It gives you a bit of relax. So look, I have done something on a major assignment. Then you work on smaller tasks. It can be just summarize something or read a little bit of it. So this is very important. In the first thing in the day, put something which is important and you want to use your high energy on that. The second thing is make sure you have time for the family and study mates, and you spread around. This is also important when we talk about is the distraction. So whenever you get a distraction, for example, you put your mobile on a silent when you're doing something study or work on important thing, and whenever you get a thought or what we call craving to use social media or something, that's where you use your breaks for that. You always remind yourself, look, there'll be a break. I'll have a focus, enjoyable, real conversation with my friend, a family, whoever. And also you make them aware of your timetable, especially your family, so they don't disturb on the time when you're studying, and they know there'll be break when you can help them, or you can sit with them, or you can pray together. So make sure in a holidays, because everybody's home. And one important thing, don't skip your boosting breaks. Let's talk about boosting. Boosting breaks is basically refuel your body and mind to work again. So what do you do whenever you study? Give a full focus, no distraction, but obviously after a certain time you start to get tired. Remember in the previous slide you saw that we put normally 45 minutes in the school as well, the 45-minute segment are the periods you get. And when you in a study you feel start with bit of stress, fatigue, and you start to perform less. There's no point study further from there. So that's why it's just use about 35 to 45-minute segment, and then you have a boosting breaks. Boosting break can be a pray, talking to someone. It can be having a bit of a sports, whatever you can afford at home, a walk, chatting with a family, doing something, house chore. This basically, the example I use, they're all non-mental, more physical. So it's like a low mental, more physical activity. That's what I put LMMP is. If you start to use watching a TV and watching sit down and lay down and playing on the mobile, more likely you will be tired again, because it's also use the brain. Brain needs something, absence of any activity, rather giving it a boost through the oxygen. So you can chat, it's okay, it's a low mental activity. You can walk, play something, but don't use extensive mental activities which will make you tired. So boosting break has to be non-mental, more physical, sorry, physical more, less mental. Okay. So continuing from the benefit of organized day, if you look at it, we put a morning routine, then we have a math trial paper. In this one is a year 12 example. Then you give it yourself a time to chat with your family, friends, and eat as well, pray as well. Then you have a legal study revision, which is a low, I mean, it doesn't require that much. And then we have a green all boosting breaks. And we converted the legal studies into different segment there. Then again we have pray, then we have an online chatting with a friend. So you put yourself in and say, look, I'm an organized person. I'll do certain things on a certain way on certain time. So this will you get more done. Rather than while you're studying, you're also chatting. You're not chatting properly, you're not studying properly. So you get a low productivity. Rather you just say, everybody know in the house, look, we will whatever need to be done together, we'll do a certain time. Same thing like in a school, whatever the activities parents know, when you come back from the school, you will do it. And I'm going to talk more on after the boosting break. The last thing of the day, which is a common mistake we all do, we plan our day in the morning. I always encourage do in the evening, because in the evening you exactly know what you could not finish and what you need to do tomorrow. Because tomorrow morning you want hit the road rather than you planning it, and you waste quite a time, because planning is you do when you're free, action you do when you're busy. So in the morning you want to use it. The second thing is that always keep your evening um, bit vacant. The reason is you have a low energy on that. You're tired physically, mentally, both. So, but you keep that time available for any cushion for extended work or something you couldn't finish. You still had a deadline, and you can also use as a reward point as well. Means you say, look, if I finish all these tasks by 4 o'clock, I'll have a wonderful evening. That's also encourage you not to procrastinate. Also, it motivates you as well. You reward yourself with the small things. Like my son always, when we finish something, we do high five, and we're looking forward to it. And we say, look, I'm going to finish this and do high five. And you can create something like that. So I'm going to have a small ice cream when I finish this. I'm going to chat to someone, do this. This is really works. Your brain is sometime motivated by that. And that's how you drop your distraction. If distraction comes, you note down, I have to call someone, and you know when I get a socializing break, I'll do it. Suddenly your mom said, do this thing, and you say, look, when I have a break, I'll do it. And you note down. So this way your distraction are dropped there. As a conclusion, I ask you, every one of you, to make a calendar, learn about it as well. I didn't cover the technology side. It's very easy to learn. You are now the HSC. Now you know how to use a Google, Microsoft, or any calendar which is online, and then try it with the suggested way we gave it to you, and then see what works for you. Keep it flexible, as we mentioned before. If it works 60 to 90%, it's a big achievement, and it'll be more productive. And remember, if you develop these techniques now, later in the life when you go practical world, this will be a standard thing. You will have meetings, you will have other things, all revolves around emails and calendars. And make sure you make good use of boosting breaks and work on the distractions. Good luck, and looking forward to seeing you in action on online calendar.